Okay, by now you should have read a lot of documents about new features in Pro 5.4, and you might heard a lot about improve out-of-box experience for users. This was mainly for the installation, and let me just show you. By the way, let me show you quickly the packaging. There'll be 4 different kind of CDs, quote, or packages. One is the ESPM. One is the Pro Enterprise Authentication CD, Pro Enterprise Starter CD, and the Pro Reports CD. The difference between Pro Authentication CD and the Pro Enterprise Starter CD is that in the Authentication you had the Password Manager admin tool, and in the Starter you don't. Okay, so let's just look at the CD here. You have the server folder, which you see the administration, docs, Pro Defender, Pro Enterprise Server. Of course, Pro Enterprise Server is where you install it. This remains the same. Pro Defender, I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's the same. We probably have a newer version of the Pro Defender, and we tested it. There's document, and there's an administration folder. This is where you go to install administration tools and remote license tools. So a little bit change here is just one setup, you run it. And you see this new installer. It's actually the new improvement we made. Click next. And you can, it's kind of like a custom install. You can choose what to install, the Pro Administration Tools or the Remote License Tools. And you click install, and it will just kick off the regular installer. And that's it for the administration tool. So actually what happened there was like a chain install, and it's going to install the admin tool first, and then it's going to install the remote licensing tool, and then at the end it will come back to this installer, and just click finish. Similar thing is for the so that was the admin tool. Let's go back to the client. Also, new improvements here. We put both kiosk and workstation on the same folder, so if you run the setup, it is going to come up and let you choose which one you want to install, which of the clients. By default, it's a Pro Enterprise Workstation. A lot of information here you can choose. There's also a button for third-party drivers that you can choose. And again, this will be like a chain install. You install Pro first, and then install the drivers. And click next, and then it will start the regular installation. You saw that you can choose the driver from the installer. You can also install drivers separately by yourself by going to the driver folder. And let me just show you quickly. Now we have the same contactless and proximity card reader. This is the same as the last time. We have special Felica driver folder, and we have validity folder. And this one, let me go a little bit more detail, because it's 3 different types of reader. The first one is our Finger Pro. So this is the non-secure reader. You can come here and install. And then we have the 2 secure readers, actually 3 types, but listed in 2 folders. One is the Validity 451 and 471. These are mainly the readers that were embedded in HP laptops that were sold between year 2010 and 2011. If the customer has a newer HP laptop, 2012 for example, most likely came with a validity version 491. In that case, you want to install this driver. Okay, another new feature that is worth mentioning is now we added fingerprint only user policy. We always had it in the machine policy under the authentication GPO, but now we add it back to the user policy. If you go user properties, right click, from Active Directory, right click on the user, and you could select properties and go to the Digital Persona Pro tab, and you get this option: user might log on with fingerprint credential only. Of course, you need to install the ESPN package to get this. This might look familiar to you. We had this option in Pro 443, and now we brought it back in Pro 5.4. I'll show you how to work. So it's by user, so if you check it, you do apply. It's straightforward. You can see how it works. Oh, by the way, maybe it's worth mentioning, let me choose a different user. The first user I selected was administrator, so a lot of things were grayed out. So a non-administrator, you can see a more clear thing. In 443, the way we use fingerprint only was kind of paired with randomized password. They're always paired up. If you select fingerprint only, usually it means you had to use randomized password. But in 5.4, we do make a distinction. They're separated now, so it's actually different from 4.43. You could actually select fingerprint only and no randomized password, or you can select both, randomized password and fingerprint only, or you can select just randomized password. So that's a big difference of this feature when compared to 4.4.3. Okay, so let me set a user with fingerprint only and try to log in and show you. Okay, on the workstation side, you just come and if you try to log in, and you will see that if you set the user policy correctly, you only had the fingerprint option. You cannot use password, no cards, no nothing, and you had to log in with fingerprint only. Yeah, straightforward and very simple. Ideally, this feature was designed for people who want to use fingerprint only option, but don't want to use the randomized password. Because they want to use password to log in from their other devices. So there you go. Okay, actually the new feature for the query tool to include the fingerprint enrollment time and date was a request from a customer, I believe, and they want it in a script. So this feature has to be run from a command line. You need to create a VBS file, a VBS script, and run it. So I'm showing you the document. These are the new parameters: fingerprint first enrollment time, fingerprint last enrollment time. And you create a VB script and you run it. Okay, here's actually a more real life example. I'm creating a VB script to query user Mike L. So by the way, this is by user. You have to enter the username, domain info, and I'll put it on the screen. So here's my script. I'm gonna run it. And the first enrollment time is 9/17, and the last enrollment time is 11/8. That's it.